Hello everyone, we are back here in the studio. I'm the same FIDE master, Călin Gheorghiu. Fortunately, they don't take your ELO away when you cannot calculate anymore. And I'm joined by the lovely women FIDE master, Maria Ursente. And we're here for the last hour of amazing commentary. And we were leaving this transmission off to girls under 18, where we were watching this game by Vicar Martina against Ayan Alahverdia.
Very interesting game because it's opponent rated number 2 and number 3 in this competition. So I would definitely say that it's one of the most important derbies when it comes to, well, this competition, girls under 18. So let's see what's been going on.
Unfortunately for Ayan's fans, the situation is not so. It's pretty hopeless because the king on g4 can go just to h5, but the problem is you're just gonna get checkmated soon because the bishop is it's a bishop up. Basically, you go king h5, I go g6, takes bishop d2, and even us as retired FIDE masters, we can win this as black. So we will switch to board number 2, and we will see a win here for Martina.
So let's see, on board number 2 we have Sofia Blokin, a women FIDE master from Estonia, playing white against Çiftçi Zeynep from Turkey. Zeynep is rating number 5 in this competition. She's the favorite of this game, playing black pieces. Interesting position, solid.
Yeah, it's solid, but it's the king on f2 that it's working overtime.
He is a bit better for black.
This pawn on e3, so we're already talking about endgame territory when your king can come out to play without worrying about the checkmate. And the cool thing is that the king on f2 is defending e3, and now the rook doesn't have to sit on e1 to defend this pawn, can just jump to a1. And here we have the rook on a1 trying to get to a8, and we also have some images from the playing hall. Here we are watching Zeynep writing down her move, and Sofia with the black pieces. It feels like black should be a bit more comfortable here. It's triple down on the e file, but at the same time, if white manages to get to a8 and let's say bring another piece to the 8th rank, then some trouble will occur. So definitely balanced game, and both sides still have a chance to win. We can see the evaluation bar is currently level, considered an equal position, but this is when we're talking about an engine evaluation. The machine has no nerves, no emotions, but we saw today and in the previous days how important it is for the players to control their nerves, and this affects
and what impact emotions can have on a game. We can see also her opponent, Zeynep's opponent, Sofia Blokin, right now in the images.
Yeah, I think this is Zeynep actually with the black pieces, and that was,
you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Zeynep with the black pieces, and Sofia was with the white pieces. So yeah, Zeynep here, she's thinking hard, she's making decisions. So
she seems a bit stressed.
Yeah, definitely not easy for her to.
We're entering. We are our number 4. Can you imagine sitting on the board for almost 4 hours?
Yeah, it's
focused.
Fatigue is coming into place, and we can jump next to board number 4. I think we have action on board number 4 because this position is complicated.
And on board number 4 we have rated number 1 in this competition, Filipa Fortuna Pipiras. I remember we were discussing her games all throughout this competition. She's playing against a Romanian player, Mihaela Trifoi, on board number 4. How is the situation currently? Because this is a very hard game for Mihaela.
Yeah, the situation is slightly better from the white side. We can judge this by the space advantage, also because this pawn on a5 has penetrated the queen side. We have the knight on b6, we have the knight on c5, so a few pieces inside black's camp, but at the same time there's no clear breakthrough, and white just played bishop to b1. And probably one plan would be to just go g4, but at the moment you can just take and move your rook to the h file, and this is not possible for white right now. So you need to find a break. Basically, it's either g4 or e4, but you need to prepare this break. So this kind of move, bishop b1, is preparing the break. maybe bringing the knight from d3 to e5, trying to maneuver, rearrange the pieces, and then prepare this final blow with g4. And I think black is playing a waiting game here, but also some decisions to be made. Do you want to capture this knight on c5 right away, open up this file and attack this e3 square? Or maybe you're holding on to your knight on e6, who's doing a great job, and just trying to consolidate. And of course, the villain of the day, the bishop on c8, is doing absolutely nothing. But
as usual,
as usual, this bishop on c8 is always on vacation, probably enjoying the seaside here in Mamaia. But at the same time, we can argue that this knight on b6 is just keeping an eye on this bishop on c8. So even though he's not doing much, he's keeping this knight on b6. So we could argue that at least there is some balance over there on the queen side. So
I feel that the bishop on c8 deserves its own nickname. So we might get creative this tournament.
Yeah, we might come up with with something on the spot. There are some options, but I need to write it down to come up with the funniest one. And we need to give this bishop some justice as well, because there are situations when he is actually the MVP.
Of course.
But usually, yeah.
But usually not.
Usually not.
Truth be told. Okay, let's see how things are progressing on board number 5, because
Obada Emma, of course.
Exactly, we have another Romanian player
Obada
there
Emma.
as well. Obada Emma playing with the black pieces against Elina Heutling from Germany. Emma is favorite in this game, and overall she's favorite number 6 in this competition overall.
Okay, the situation is clear. Black is just winning bishop c3. I think we're gonna see a resignation soon. It's basically either checkmate or you lose the queen. It just takes on c3, takes, and king to d1 is just yeah, that's it basically. King to d1, I just take on c2. King to f1, I just take to a1, and not much to be said. You go king d1 right now. Of course, the only move that actually keeps the game going, but you just take on b2, and you hit the rook, you hit c2, and this is a bit too much to handle for white. Okay.
Great victory for Emma, big congrats. Let's switch things up a bit and see how things are progressing. Open under 18. I feel this is one of the most viewed and sometimes expected games of the day,
okay,
because
we have
the level is really high.
Finished game here, and yeah, we can definitely comment on that. Lamaze Simon against Elham Abdaouf, and yeah, he just won Elham 1. Was he won 3 out of 3? Okay, so he's moving on to 4 out of 4.
And he is rated number 1 in this competition. The highest ELO, he's an international master from Norway, 2,541.
Okay, he just manages to win the endgame with a rook and knight against rook and bishop. We saw these pawns early on the commentary where we said, okay, these pawns are deadly unless there's a faster pawn on the board for the opponent. And in this case, this h3 pawn just cruising over the board, and really cool collab here between the rook, the knight, and the pawn. Oftentimes we see this, there are checkmate ideas between these 3 pieces, exceptional good in collaboration, and also good locally when we're talking about this king on the corner. And yeah, it just ended fairly quickly. As we said, really cool way of collaborating. You just move your king to e1 and you just make a queen. So, and unfortunately you're just one tempo away. You just go king e1, h2. You say, okay, I'm gonna queen here, but yeah, you can even promote to a rook, and it's a checkmate.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Okay,
let's see how things are going. Board 2 and 3. We have 2 great Armenian players. On board number 1, we have Eric Chakiran playing against Eitan Rosen. This is a name that we're very familiar with because we keep remembering him for the amazing tactics that he employed around number 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did that rook sacrifice. I think it's a move of the tournament so far, actually. We saw all the games live here, and yeah, so far it's the sacrifice of the tournament, definitely deserving the beauty prize. In terms of amazing tactics.
So there was a draw on board number 2 as well. Let's see just a bit how the
I think he slowed down in this game because he had amazing games so far, but today he decided to relax a bit. Tomorrow just to remind everyone that we have a morning round. Things are starting from 10 a.m. including the commentary. So if you want to tune in, only tomorrow we will have a morning round starting from 10 a.m. from...
I hope you're a morning person.
Yeah, I am. I'll just double the espresso shots and we'll be ready to...
So we're going to be pumped tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and the viewers as well, hoping you can get your favorite coffee. It's a Saturday, slow day, so you can spend it with us here.
We're just going to ease into the day together.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how the players are dealing also with this change, because if you have a routine, as Gabi said, you know, a great champion has a great routine, but in this tournament the routine has to change because they have one morning round, and let's see how they adapt and how they switch their routines from a middle day round from 3 to a morning round from 10. And we know as chess players morning rounds can be somehow grueling.
That's true.
Because you're changing your routine. You don't have so much time to prepare because you're finishing these games at maybe 7 o'clock during the night. You get some food and then you're trying to analyze the game you had during the day, but you don't have time to that. You have to switch to... Yeah, and then prepare. You have to switch to preparation. You also have to get your 8-9 hours of sleep, and then you're waking up and straight into the game. It's adding some more complexity to this, so definitely a smart decision by Eitan. Get the draw and just focus on tomorrow's game. And then there's a rest day on Sunday, so definitely tomorrow will be really important, and after the rest day things will become more clear in terms of who's the favorite to actually win in each category.
So let's see, on board number 3 we have number 2 rated in this competition, Emin Ohanian, again an international master, very strong, coming from Armenia, playing against Prokofiev Valentin from Ukraine.
Yeah, the game has finished, Ohanian just won, and we can see clearly that it was a king safety situation. Both kings are in symmetric position, but white pieces are better prepared for the attack, and there's no defense against these threats. Also, these pawns are really dangerous, so black decided to resign. A good win for Ohanian, who is moving on to 3 points and a half.
3 points and a half, yes.
And he's going straight into tomorrow for another tough round.
Let's go maybe board number 5, because we have a Romanian player. We have a Dragoș Antonica playing black pieces against Timothy.
Okay, we can switch to Dragoș's game. Right now the bar is not so happy.
Cray.
Yeah, not so happy with what is happening on the board. You can see this king is sort of
checkmate.
Yeah, it's sort of checkmated, and you have to give up the queen, but unfortunately white doesn't only have this move. There's also this intermediate check on h7, and yeah, once you move it's over. So unfortunately for Dragoș's fans, which include me actually, he had an amazing tournament last year in the World Youth. He was close to a medal, but this day was tough for him. He's losing right now, but I'm definitely confident that he can bounce back tomorrow.
Do we have a live from maybe board number 7? We have Șerban Cristian Ștefan playing against Levin Guy.
Yeah, and he's actually winning. Șerban Cristian, one of the biggest improvers of the year in terms of the Romanian circuit. He started off with 2100 at the beginning of the year, and now he's jumping to 2300. He's improving.
That's impressive.
He's got a great team around him. He's from Ploiești, a city well known for their chess traditions. Many chess clubs there, amazing players, and I'm really happy to see him bringing his best today. And in this tournament, he's winning this. This is a theoretical endgame. The rook will win against the knight. You just need to time your moves. At first, you need to defend this pawn, but you can slowly ease into with the king, and then some checks. And once the king gets to g6, then it's a straightforward job. Just to remind the viewers that the endgame of rook against the knight is a draw, but the more pawns you add, the more advantage you have with the rook, because you can slide around and capture your opponent's pawns. So h5, good strategy by Levin, motivated by the fact that you cannot really push g5, the move you want to make, because now it's a check, and you can see the bar disapproving of this move, because now it's a theoretical draw. Pawn was lost, and it's easier for black. Actually, the strategy is still the same, just to switch these pawns off. Even if you win a pawn, the best strategy is still to exchange them. And Yeah, we're probably gonna see some rook g1 and keep the pawns alive. Even with the g pawns, it's still winning for white, but great understanding of endgames by Guy Levin. This is exactly the type of move that shows us that he studied these positions and he really knows his fundamentals when it comes to endgames. And oftentimes he can even save the situations, because you lose an exchange, the game was complicated, and you'll end up in this position where you can actually save half a point if you know your endgames and if you make the right decisions. And right now we are seeing two other players playing on the live board, and we can switch. This is a great image because we have Robert Krange in the live spot.
On board 11, exactly, playing black is Romanian player Robert Krange, playing against FIDE master Yaniv Yuval from Israel, who's rating number 16 in the competition and is a favorite in this game.
Robert made an amazing game against Eline Roberts in round 2. We saw that game. He was playing with the black pieces, employing the Zveshnikov. Eline established pair from the Netherlands, and he managed to win that game really convincingly. And now he is a pawn up. He's trying to hold on to this position. There's this g5 pawn that's threatening to become a queen. And after you stop this, you can start your own threats with this A and B pawn. So we can see on his expressions that the game was long. It was a long day, and he's trying his best to actually win this endgame, because a draw would be easy to get. He's a pawn up, he can trade pieces, and he knows how to make a draw, but he's still hoping for that win. He's still pushing, and it's already our number 4 for this player, so amazing resilience. And
do you think he's still focused?
Yeah, I
based
think
based on the images.
Yeah, he's still focused. He's not taking this endgame lightly, even though he is a pawn up. He knows that white has tricks. This g5 pawn is dangerous, so definitely he's in full focus mode, and he realizes these are the moves that will actually decide the whole game. He's worked his way into a winning endgame, and he just needs to convert it. So we can see that he's taking this really seriously, and
I can see him very determined.
Yeah, exactly. You can see it on his face that he's fully focused. There's not that many players around him, so there's no distraction. It's just him and the board. And he's looking at the opponent as well.
Quite a lot.
Yeah, but in this kind of situation, opponent's plan is clear. There are not that many hidden tricks, but let's see how his opponent is handling this. Okay, he's also focused. He's a bit worried. He knows that one simple slip can ruin the whole game, so he's trying to come up with some calculations, but he is the rating favorite. But okay, so
I think was there a draw?
I don't know actually.
Or?
He might agree to a draw, but it would be a disappointment if Robert took the draw here. Maybe he resigned. He was afraid of the.
We don't have the exact.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what happened,
position.
But. Yeah. Okay.
He might have resigned based on his mimics.
Yeah, it feels like it was a resignation. Now the players are talking about their position, but it feels like it is a resignation. So Robert might have actually had a good result, but we don't really know. Okay, I think we are done with this category. We're having a look at some of the results. We're gonna show them out. So Ayan won against the Vicar Martina, that position. Sofia and Zeynep are still playing, still level. Nazdamova Victoria won against Kayem Huda, and Mihaela Trifoy struggling a bit against Pipiras. We saw that position, and now we see that white has progressed. A bunch of trades have been made, and again this bishop on c8 is just totally unemployed, but probably he's going to get into the game sooner or later, but for now it feels like
a bit worried about the bar as well.
Yeah, the bar is clearly showing that this bishop is not going to get any better soon, but yeah.
Tell us a bit the most emotional game of the day for you.
The most emotional game? Can we have a look?
Yes.
Maybe? Okay, let's go. It's about the under 12 category, where we could see how many emotions were involved. We saw that amazing tactic with Rook d7 and what happened afterwards, and they're still playing. wow, this is
Wow.
amazing. It's under 12, still playing, and yeah, the student that I'm co-coaching with.
What board is he currently?
He
Let
is
me check.
board number 10.
Board number 10.
Under 12, if production can jump to under 12 boys, and board number 10, we can actually have a look here and maybe have him in the studio, but I think his game is gonna last for at least half an hour, so I don't know if we'll still be here. But let's have a look of what happened in this endgame. We left it off on good terms. He was a pawn up, but it felt like, okay, he is clearly winning here after c5, but he made slightly, okay, this is common tactic after c6. You lose the pawn on a6, and you cannot recapture because I'm queening first, and if you take the pawn, yeah, this is Andrei.
We have images, live
we have
images
of him, and yeah, this kind of trick, we had a training game 1 week before this tournament, and it was a similar situation that I tricked him in a rook endgame. So seeing this is definitely tough, but of course, rook endgames are always a part of chess that everybody has to improve on. So having this experience at his young age, at the pressure that we're talking about, his board number 10 for an European champion is definitely a lesson he will remember for a long time. But the position is not lost. He just slipped his advantage, but now it's a situation of 2 against 1, H and F pawns, and he will fight for the draw. And amazing the fact that we're reaching our number 4 and he's still playing, he is still fighting, and this just makes me happy as a coach that he gets this experience of playing at the highest stage, the European stage, playing a long game and fighting for a draw, which you need to learn as a player. We often talk about the victory, the champions, but some tournaments are won even if you're saving a lost position into a draw. Just only that half a point can bring you closer to the standings and actually
and give you the boost or the motivation that maybe you needed. And I'm looking at Andrei. I know that we had him in the images more than 1 hour ago. They both still look very focused.
Yeah, they're focused, and it feels like they're still fresh. They're into this game 4 hours in, but the position is so interesting that that I think the chess, the position itself, is giving them the energy to keep going and have the energy to calculate.
I think this is great to watch, and somehow, especially at this age, when it's harder to keep this focused for such a long time. Again, the round began 4 hours ago, so it's quite a long time.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're entering our number 5.
Great exercise, and I think now it's the moment to judge the position and say that this is a theoretical draw because they have swapped a pair of pawns, which is a great strategy by Andrei. Switching a pair of pawns off the board is getting him closer to a theoretical draw. And here we are, he's facing a theoretical draw. He just needs to know the right way of maneuvering, and of course you can employ the Philidor maneuver, the Philidor type of defense, when you're keeping your rook on the lateral side. And yeah, we definitely had this lesson, so let's see if this is gonna come up on the board. But until...
Are you nervous?
No, I mean, even if he doesn't remember the right way of approaching, theoretical endgames are a subject that I know how difficult it is, even for me as a player, so I wouldn't blame any of my students for forgetting a theoretical endgame. I know the strategy, we need to focus more on them for the next tournament, but I'm happy about this game, the fact that he is facing such a game at this stage in the career. This is what real chess is like. You're spending a lot of hours, the game has ups and downs, you make mistakes, you need to come back. So all these aspects, I think I'm really happy he's having this experience.
Same here. What happened board number 1? I'm very curious. Open 10, because we had Rusu Lucas on board number 1
Rusu Lucas, of course.
and Yanis Gani on board number 3. Also very interesting, I would say, to watch.
Okay, Rusu Lucas made a draw.
Okay, so Rusu Lucas, again, he was not a favorite in this game. He faced Boris from France. I'm just saying Boris because it's going to be really hard for me to say the name, but you have it on screen on your left side. Rated number 10 in this competition.
Okay,
and
so
it was a draw, so he has 3.5 points out of 4 at this stage.
yeah, great scores for Lucas. And let's see where we left off. It was at the beginning of this game that we are talking about this rook g1 move, and we are expecting black to go d5, but he decided to go queen c1 to stop g4, and then now the knight is in the game. Slight maneuver into f2, still going for this same g4 plan, and now he goes g4 at the right moment. And wow, really interesting takes on g4. He goes f4 and g3, rook to c1. Okay, maybe this was the... Maybe Lucas was getting too creative here. Rook c1 is hitting the queen, but you're not even taking the g3 pawn anymore. I think taking on g3 was good enough, and you can continue with h5. I think the normal approach, the easy approach, was good enough, but he switched sides to play on the queen side, and yeah, he did some calculations here. Takes, knight c6, knight a5, and unfortunately he's losing the knight on f2, and his opponent offered the draw here, and he accepted. Complicated position, taking a draw in a complicated position could be a good tournament strategy as well. So a decent result. It was just about this moment that he was trying to calculate what's happening. The thing is, he wanted to take the knight, but black takes on f2, and the problem is you're gonna lose the rook. So his judgment was, okay, let me move the rook, and now I'm just winning a piece. But he just had to calculate a bit more after knight c6, rook to c8, knight a5, queen b5. Now both knights are attacked, and you're gonna lose the piece back. So slight inaccuracy in the calculation, but definitely amazing trying rook c1 to get away from this line. Doing an intermezzo is a good approach.
Do you want to look at any more games before we wrap up day 4?
I have some Andriesh Alexia, if we remember this game that was so amazing, but I think it ended in a draw. I think she forced the draw with the repetition.
With a repetition?
Yeah, we were watching this during the break. It was such a cool position. Let's just switch back. So it was at this stage, she checked, knight blocks, and rook f6, queen to h3, and we were wondering, okay, what's the correct approach? And she saw this concrete way of dealing with the position where she's just gonna perpetual check their opponent, and
I think it was a draw, right?
Yeah, it ended in a draw, and it's a good practical decision because you're risking a bit with black here. The king is on e8, even though you're in an exchange up. This doesn't really mean much in this type of situations where your king is not safe. So good practical decision. She's moving on to 3 points out of 4, I believe, and yeah, amazing tournament so far for her. And I think we had some other Romanian players here. Yeah, we had Iordache Alexia, who actually managed to win against Tol Lucia. We left this game early on in the opening, but after that we saw that Alexia Iordache made an amazing choice by playing e5 here on move 21, and then it was straightforward job to just pick up the pawns on the queen side and deliver the final attack. Wow, that was really cool, playing b3 and then rook b1. Again, opening up files against your opponent's king is a great strategy, and you can see here that black has nowhere to go. Okay, what else? Ilinka Felix, we haven't checked his game today. Yesterday,
not yet. Yesterday he had a tough day,
but he still, we pointed up that game of yesterday, it wasn't really showcasing a lack of chess skills. It was just a slight mistake of remembering your opening preparation, because we saw some amazing moves by Felix. He's definitely a player with a great understanding of chess. In general, it was just, I would say, unlucky. I would even add he was a bit unlucky because...
Unlucky about the variation.
The variation, yeah. Even though you can argue that the element of luck is not really present in a game like chess because there are no random elements, but sometimes your opponent can trick you into the opening preparation, and you're found in a territory where you're not that comfortable, and that's what we mean by luck. It's just that the circumstances that occurred weren't as favorable for Felix. And here, okay, he made a better decision to take on d7 and then e8, and now he's left with 2 pieces for the rook, and here it's where the game decided. This was the key moment, this move bishop d7. His opponent couldn't really prevent that. It was later on that Felix won this game. And okay, good that he bounced back, that he wasn't affected by this loss, and we hope to see him tomorrow, definitely on the live boards. We're gonna check his game, and his fans can stay updated with his progress.
We do hope we're going to get some more people in the studio as well. Luckily, we had also Gabriel Grecescu today, the General Secretary from of the Romanian Federation. So again, big shout out, Gabi. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing for Romanian chess and chess in general.
Okay, I also wanted to look at a couple of more games. Here we had this Sakilaro endgame. We saw Sakilaro making a good draw yesterday, and now we have again this theoretical endgame where black is supposed to be fine. The rook can form a fortress in this position, but let's see. Okay, white managed to break through the back, through f8, and now it's easier for the white queen to pick up the pawn. So the good strategy is just sometimes to wait and do nothing, even if it sounds counterintuitive, just waiting here.
Wait for the mistake.
Okay, this is not good as well, so probably wait like this. King to g7, king to g8. Okay, no. My endgame knowledge just shows that... okay, king g8 is still good, but the thing is you don't allow the queen to f8, and if you were to move here, then the king invades. So that's the logic behind it. You need to keep your rook on the 4th rank in a defended place, so rook d4, rook f4, and your king needs to stay on these 2 squares, so the queen doesn't get to f8. So basically, if you just shuffle around these 2 moves, it's harder for you to lose, but he went king g6, and now the queen has entered the king side. So unfortunately a loss for Alex's fans, but he was fighting well today as well, showing good chess, so there's not much to blame him for. Okay, we still have a game going here in the under 16 section.
Board number 1, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Masia Spino against Dehtiar Roman. Okay, and I remember this game. We were talking about it, that black was better in that rook and knight endgame, and
something happened.
Yeah, surprisingly, the situation turned around. So we were left with this particular endgame where black is winning, but let's see how white managed to fight back. Okay, he took f5, and there was a key moment where things went astray. Maybe, okay, the king is invading. That's almost close to checkmate. But okay, around here, this rook and knight can cooperate to deliver some cool checks. White didn't really want to repeat with knight e5, so he's playing for a win, and he picked up a lot of pawns here, and this is the situation we're in right now. White has 3 pawns, and black is only left with a rook and a knight.
2 pawns.
Yeah, 2 pawns, and yeah, he had 3 pawns here, but okay, you're losing c3. Okay, interesting. But probably it's hard for you to promote these pawns, and I'm just gonna pick them up.
I would go for the draw as a prediction.
Yeah, because we know if we transition to rook and knight against the rook, then that's a draw. So we're basing our statement on this fact that rook knight against a rook is just a draw. So probably this game will end in a draw as well. And let's see if we have any more games. Okay, this one is fun. It's under 16 girls category. I don't know exactly the board number, but we have Kapolkova Greta against Abdinova Narmin, and it's gonna be a bishop and a knight checkmate situation.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm 100% that black knows how to checkmate, but she needs to do that in 50 moves. That's the rule. It's the 50 move rule. Unless you can make a progress in 50 moves, then the arbiter comes and it's a draw. So hopefully she can do that. It's a theoretical win. There is a checkmate.
After she takes obviously the pawn.
Yeah, she has to take on h7, and she has to bring her knight and the king towards the center to force this king in one of the corners, and then try to deliver checkmate. So this is gonna last for long, but we expect the black to win this eventually.
We didn't see that this tournament, and it's actually not that common to see. So it's quite rare, I would,
Yeah,
would have to
usually
say.
it doesn't really happen. We are learning this as juniors to checkmate with the knight and the bishop. But yeah, when it happens, you have to know it. You have to deliver it, and under time pressure, and in the 50-move rule. So it's not such an easy task, actually.
But also non-common. So I'm very happy that we got to see such an ending. And if you would have to ask me, we've seen a lot of endings today.
Yeah, it was
a lot of endgames, actually.
A lot about endgames. And okay, just for last note to get back to that game. Of Kostaki, see if it has finished. If not, okay, they're still playing, but it feels like he knows how to Philidor his way into a draw. And yeah, I think we can...
the most emotional, we're going to wrap up with the most emotional game for you. On an emotional
So
note.
yeah, that was today's games. We had Gabi in the studio, which was really fun for us, so hope to get him back. We had a lot of endgames, some Sicilians, some tactics, some unsafe kings. We're trying to play around with the tactics, and we can already see the games are getting more and more intense. We saw some real nerves in the under 12 categories, followed by a great sacrifice with Rook d7. So the games have become more intense. Their nerves are showing on the players' reactions, and we are here to comment and give you guys the best reactions that we can to what's happening here in Mamaia. Is the European Youth Chess Championship. I am here alongside the Women FIDE Master Maria Orsente. I'm really happy to commentate alongside her. And
we're having a good time, aren't
yeah,
we?
we're actually having a good time here in Mamaia, and we are waiting for you guys tomorrow, starting from 10 o'clock. You can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch.
So 10 a.m.
10 a.m. It's gonna be.
So we're going to drink our morning coffees together.
Yeah, I started from this night, but you know that tomorrow will be sharp, and we'll have good commentary.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Colleen. It's always a pleasure and a joy.
Is it?
To work.
I hope so.
Well, it's official. It's live streaming. What
okay.
I mean,
we need to.
Oh, of course. But we're going to be here tomorrow, and we're going to be here until the 14th of this month with very interesting games and very interesting insights in regards to the European Youth Championship. And with that,
yeah,
we'll see you
let's call
tomorrow.
it a day. Bye bye.